Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you here with us. Today, we're going to take a deliberate step back from the constant buzzing of our social media feeds and phone notifications. We really need to explore the bedrock of how we understand the world around us. We're looking at the foundational concepts, the various formats, and the actual societal purpose of journalism. It's a topic that literally shapes our daily reality, and I promise you, understanding its mechanics is going to completely change how you consume information going forward.
To keep us perfectly focused, here's our quick roadmap for today. First up, what is journalism? Second, we'll look at the many types of journalism. And third, why journalism actually matters. But, before we start defining terms, I want you to really ponder a question for a second. Think about the daily information you consume. Out of all the events happening across the globe at any given second, what exactly makes a story, well, news? We kind of have to strip away the modern complexities, the flashy graphics, the algorithms, just to find that baseline of truth. Who decides what facts we get to see, and how are those facts gathered in the first place? All right, section 1. What is journalism? Let's define the core. Okay, the roots of the word itself are actually super fascinating. The origin of the word journalism traces all the way back to the ancient Greek word homeriousios and the Latin root diurnus, which literally means daily. Just think about that for a second. The ancient concept of keeping daily logs, these diurnal records of what happened from sunrise to sunset, it connects directly to our fast-paced 24/7 modern news cycle. At its very core, journalism has always been about keeping a daily record of human existence. Now, the crucial point here is understanding the underlying goal of that daily record. I absolutely love this quote from the American Press Institute because it grounds our core definition perfectly. They say the purpose is to provide citizens with the information they need to make the best possible decisions about their lives, their communities, their societies, and their governments. It's not just about telling you what happened, right? The ultimate goal of journalism is to empower you, the citizen. On a strictly practical level, according to our source material, journalism is the activity of gathering, assessing, creating, and presenting news and information. In its most foundational form, it's the direct writing or description of events without any attempt at interpretation. It's characterized by the presentation of facts, just the facts, laid out clearly, designed specifically for publication. Moving right along to section 2, the many types of journalism. Let's explore the formats. Okay, let's dive into this by juxtaposing two core styles that you see every single day. On one side, we have objective journalism. This confines itself strictly to the facts and answers your standard questions, the 5 W's and 1 H: who, what, when, where, why, and how. On the flip side, we have interpretive journalism. This is where the journalist actually attempts to explain the broader significance of an event by heavily expounding on the why and how. So one gives you the raw data, while the other offers context. Now, to anchor this somewhat abstract concept in the real world, just take a look at this BBC headline right here. BBC to resume English language reporting from Russia. It's straight to the point, factual, global reporting. It doesn't tell you how to feel about the event. It simply alerts you to the who, what, when, and where. Digging a little deeper, we find formats that are really defined by their relationship to power. Take adversarial journalism. This treats the media as a sort of fourth branch or fourth estate of government, taking on the active role of fiscalizing or checking the other 3 branches. It's challenging, it's probing. In stark contrast to that, we have developmental journalism. This form is aimed at intentionally promoting the social, economic, and political development of a country. It often works a bit more cooperatively to highlight national progress. But, well, not all formats are quite so noble. This stark image of a knife represents what we call yellow journalism. This is a type of journalism that specifically sensationalizes stories about crimes and violence. It prioritizes shock value, fear, and those super attention-grabbing headlines over pure, helpful facts. Recognizing this format is absolutely vital so you know exactly when a source is trying to manipulate your emotions rather than actually inform your mind. The whole field is incredibly adaptable, really, and the format often dictates the style. We have broadcast journalism, which is specifically written to be spoken over the radio or television. Then there's advocacy journalism. This one intentionally advocates for a particular viewpoint to influence audience opinion. They aren't hiding their bias. Honestly, it's the whole point of the piece. And the field extends all the way into highly specific niches, like fashion journalism, where writers and editors cover lifestyle, trends, and the business of fashion. Oh, and this right here brilliantly illustrates one of the most massive shifts in modern reporting. You might actually recognize this legendary tweet from Giannis Grooms. There's a plane in the Hudson, I'm on the ferry, going to pick up the people, crazy. He wasn't a professional reporter. He was literally just a guy on a boat with a phone. This is the ultimate example of citizen journalism, proving that everyday people can break major global news stories way before the professional camera crews even show up.
So, citizen journalism essentially means that it's no longer just a professional journalists who are responsible for news reports. Any citizen can participate and report news to the media. Technology has completely transformed the media landscape. It democratized the gathering of news and made it a participatory act for non-professionals all around the globe. It's a real game changer, for sure, but we also have to recognize that it removes traditional editorial filters.
Which brings us to the very modern challenge highlighted by these headlines, pointing directly to fake news and deeply opinionated, politically charged pieces. Because anyone can publish today, and because advocacy and yellow journalism are out there, navigating the landscape requires intense media literacy. We are looking at these headlines neutrally right now just to point out a simple fact. The presence of fabricated stories and heavily opinionated pieces makes understanding true, objective journalistic formats more vital today than ever before.
All right, Section 3, Why Journalism Matters. Let's talk about the societal impact.
According to our sources, true journalism has this massive, democracy-sustaining impact. First, it acts as the fourth estate, a vital pillar of society standing right alongside the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. Second, it serves as a government watchdog, keeping a close eye on those in power to ensure real transparency. And finally, it promotes human awareness. It connects us. It makes us aware of the triumphs and the struggles of other human beings, whether they're across the street or across the globe.
So that brings us to our final thought. The American Press Institute told us that journalism exists to give citizens the information they need to make the best decisions. So, armed with the facts, and now knowing how to spot the difference between objective reporting, advocacy, and sensationalism, how are you going to use journalism to make the best decisions for your community? Because information is power, right? But only if you know how to use it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep learning.